Welcome, welcome, welcome. We're back again brewing with Kveik. We already released videos where we made a German Pils with Kveik and a hard seltzer with Kveik. You can find those videos up here. This time we're making a West Coast IPA. Specifically, we're making a Stone Delicious IPA clone. Stone Delicious is a gluten-reduced West Coast IPA, and I've seen a bunch of Stone Delicious IPA clone recipes floating around on the forums, but I've never seen a video about it, so I decided to make one. Today in this video, I'm going to show you how to make it. Roll the intro. Today's sponsor for this video is, just kidding, we don't have any sponsors, so it would be great if you can like and subscribe if you find this video helpful. Also check out Hopeful Brewing on Instagram and Twitter. Let's get started with the recipe. I'll link the recipe in the description down below, and I'll also link a video from Mitch Steele, formerly of Stone Brewing, that talks about how to make Stone Delicious. Okay, so we're going to start with the fermentables, and we're making a 5-gallon batch, so we're going to do 11.25 pounds of 2-row, and then we're going to do 1.75 pounds of Munich light malt and 0.75 pounds of Vienna malt. We're going to add a half a pound of acidulated malt just for pH adjustment and 3.5 ounces of carapils just for a little bit of head retention and body. We're going to heat 4.5 gallons of strike water at 168 degrees Fahrenheit to hit our about 150 degree mash in temperature. The target water profile that I use for this is just the light colored and hoppy profile that can be found in Brewer's Friend. So that's 75 calcium, 5 magnesium, 10 sodium, 50 chlorides, 175 sulfate, and 50 bicarbonate. To achieve this water profile, we added 1.5 teaspoons of gypsum and 1 gram of calcium chloride. After we mashed in, we tested the pH, and the pH was still a little high, so we added about a half milliliter of lactic acid to reach our pH of about 5.4. We mashed at 150 degrees for 60 minutes using the rim system to keep the temperature consistent. And then we heated things up to 170 degrees for the mash out, and we mashed out with about 5 gallons of water, or sparged, sorry, I should say. We sparged about 5 gallons of water to reach a total kettle volume of 7.28 gallons. And I use Brewer's Friend water requirements calculator for every brew, and it's pretty spot on. So you'll see some screenshots of that. If you want to learn a little bit more about that, comment below if you want me to make a video about how to use that calculator. For this recipe, we're going to use a 60-minute boil. So now let's move on to the hops. And the bittering hop that we used for this was Magnum. We used a half an ounce of that at 60 minutes. Stone uses Nugget, but I just use Magnum because that's what I had on hand, and honestly, it probably doesn't make much of a difference flavor-wise. Okay, and then we did some late addition hops at 15 minutes. We did a half an ounce of Calypso.
The other hop that we use in the late hop is Calypso, and Calypso is more tropical fruit. It's a very tropical hop.
Half an ounce of El Dorado and half an ounce of Lemon Drop at that 15-minute mark.
The Lemon Drop hop is a new hop variety. It just got named this year. It adds a nice, really clean lemon character.
We also did Whirlpool hops at 190 degrees for 20 minutes using a half ounce of Calypso, 1.5 ounces of Lemon Drop, and a half an ounce of El Dorado. So we used our counterflow chiller to get down to 95 degrees. We transferred it to a fermenter where we actually had Lutra Kveik left over at the bottom of the fermenter from the German Pils that we actually just kegged earlier in the day. And then we fermented that at 95 degrees for about 3.5 days. So remember, Lutra Kveik is super fast. And if you want to learn more about that yeast, you can watch the previous 2 videos. Probably watch the German Pils video. We talk a lot about that yeast, but it's an amazing yeast. So remember we said that Stone Delicious is a gluten-reduced IPA, but how do they reduce the gluten? It's actually really easy. White Labs has an enzyme called Clarity Ferm that's used to both clarify beer, and also it destroys the gluten molecules within the beer. And there's a bunch of information that you can find out about it, but it only costs about $5 for a 5-gallon batch, and it makes zero impact on the flavor of the beer whatsoever.
The beauty about it is that you can't tell. It makes absolutely zero change to the beer.
So if you're looking for that gluten-reduced beer, this is the way to do it. Let's talk about the dry hop for this one, because this is an important part.
El Dorado is the key hop in the dry hop.
So for this, we added 3 ounces of El Dorado at about 3.5 days after it was done in primary fermentation. And we reduced our temperature from 95 degrees to 65 degrees for this. And then we just basically started our cold crash from that point after that. And we then kegged about 24 hours later after the cold crash. So dry hop for about 3 days and then cold crash for about 1 day before we kegged. At kegging, we added another 1 ounce of El Dorado. When we added it so it was high in the keg, so the beer wouldn't sit on the hops the whole time. We would drink down below the hops after just a little bit of time. And we did that just because we wanted to avoid exposing the beer to those hops for a really long extended time, which can cause grassiness and some other notes that you might not want in your finished beer. So how did it turn out, and how does it compare to actual Stone Delicious? Well, we did some blind taste testing versus a real Stone Delicious IPA, and my girlfriend Krista and our friends Randy and Jen were kind enough to participate, so we're going to play that footage now. For this blind taste test, we poured 2 samples of the Stone Delicious IPA and then 2 samples of the Hopeful Brewing Delicious IPA clone. 3 samples were then given to the participant, and they had to pick the odd one out. You're not going to guess anything yet.
Okay.
Your goal is to pick the odd one out, so you're going to taste all 3. So whenever you're done with that one.
Okay. I've got it.
All right, so that's number 1. And here is number 2.
This one is not as sweet. Like honey-y. Or coffee.
So far you think that this one is different than number 1.
I
It's
do.
not the same. Okay.
I do. Okay.
So you're done with that one.
All right. Number 3.
Okay. There you go.
I can't smell anything anymore. 2 and 3 are the same.
2 and 3 are the same. Okay.
2 and 3 are the same.
Is that your final answer?
That is my final answer.
Okay. Now that you say 2 and 3 are the same, you think 1 is different, right?
Yes.
So do you prefer number 1 or number 2 and 3?
I'm gonna go number 1 because it is lighter.
It's lighter.
Lighter.
Okay, are you ready for the reveal?
I am.
Okay, so
Do you wanna...
you can put it down, that's fine. So, and you can take the blindfold off now.
Okay.
Okay.
I was right.
No,
No way!
so number 1 and number 3 are the same.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm. And
I
number
need coffee beans, I told you.
and number 2, this is what that is. So there shouldn't be any coffee in it.
No,
So the
Oh,
third time
okay.
she could smell
In between.
something.
In between.
Okay. So number 1 and number 3 were the same.
Yeah, and those are the ones that I
So
made.
weird. Okay. Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, well, it was very light and flowery over here.
Okay.
Where is it?
Do I get? I mean, I don't know which one this was for you, but this one smells like coffee. I'm not gonna lie, but I have no idea if it was the one.
We also have coffee sitting outside.
Yeah, I mean, it kind of is like, to me, it's like a little, maybe, like a, not like a coffee flavor, but kind of.
Well, coffee house oat, like it's bitter.
Yes, bitter.
Like roasty.
Roasty, bitter, to me.
Roasty and bitter to you. Okay.
Yeah.
Are you done with that one?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Not yet, because I can smell the difference between these two, I think. I have no idea. I feel like it's a sham. But this one doesn't smell like that one did.
Okay.
It smells lighter.
Lighter house oat. Like there's
Like-
less aroma
Yeah,
just in
less-
general.
Less aroma.
Okay.
Like, cause to me that one, it smelled like a roasty smell. I
Roast,
guess is what
okay.
I was kind of tasting and smelling. Oh crap! Sorry, I'm the worst at this.
No, there's no being worse or better at it. It's all for fun.
I don't know if it tastes like the other one, but it's got like a. It's still got that like. It's got something. Like I can taste it, I can feel it. I don't know what that means to you.
So is there a texture difference? Is that what maybe you're saying?
I don't know, it's just like staying, it's like the flavor is staying longer on my tongue.
Okay, so you're saying the finish is longer.
Yeah,
Okay. Are you ready to move on to the next one?
yeah.
Okay.
You got it?
I got it.
Okay, thanks.
Okay. And here's number 3.
I'm scared.
No cheating. Don't
No,
miss that
I was
one.
just making sure my nose wasn't covered.
Okay.
I can't smell anything anymore. Are 3 and 2 the same? Oh, I guess you can't. So I'm saying 3 and 2 are the same, I think.
So you think 2 and 3 are the same, you think 1's the odd one out?
Yeah,
Okay. And is that your final answer?
sure.
You are correct that 2 and 3 are the same and the first one is different. Okay. Now, which one do you prefer?
I think I liked 1 better.
You think 1 better? Okay. So do you think number 1 is my beer, or do you think it's Stone?
Jeez.
Well, she's tasted this beer a
Okay.
bunch of
I
times.
know, and I'm trying
I
to
didn't ask you because you had no, you've never tasted. You probably never had either one before, right? So.
I feel like 2 and 3 are yours and 1 is Stone's.
Okay. Well, you
I'm
are
wrong.
incorrect. Number 1 is Hopeful Brewing. It's what we call Kama Lutra, the name of the beer.
Number 1, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can I take it?
Yeah, you can take it off. No. You did a good job. You picked the odd one out.
the odd one out.
Yeah.
Yay.
Okay, last question I didn't ask for you guys, but do you think well, obviously you think they're similar because you didn't pick out which one's correct, but you picked out which one was correct. You think that they're all pretty similar.
Yeah, I think for me they were, because I was kind of like, I was really trying to remember what 1 tasted like. And it didn't seem like it was super far off. The biggest thing for me was that the 1 tasted, it had more of a coffee for some reason to me.
Interesting.
Okay, taste test number 3.
Okay.
All right, you ready for glass number 1?
Mm-hmm. There's not much aroma on this one, which makes me think it's the Stone already versus the Hopeful.
Okay. Are you smelling anything at all?
Yeah.
What are you smelling?
Faint citrus.
Okay.
Maybe a tiny bit like pineapple, like like not quite ripe pineapple.
Okay. A little fruity.
But it tastes totally different than it smells. There's a lot more intense flavor.
And what kind of flavors are you getting from it?
It's definitely, it's pretty bitter, which I know both of these are pretty bitter. So the Stone is supposed to be 75, the one that I made is 65. I think this one's slightly more bitter than mine. I could be wrong. Intense, like grapefruit, like citrusy grapefruit
Okay.
finish. It doesn't linger around super long,
Okay.
but the bitterness stays. That's the other thing about this test is with anytime you're drinking like bitter IPAs, that like it wrecks your palate, so it's hard to taste the next one.
All right. Glass number 2.
All right, I don't know if the aroma's stronger or not on this one or not. Can I smell number 3?
We didn't get to do that.
No.
Okay.
That answer would be no. What did you smell when you were smelling it?
Number 1 was a lot easier to tell what was going on once you started drinking it. I think the bitterness kills your senses a lot. This one seems smoother. Maybe a little bit thicker. So I perceive that maybe as a little sweeter.
Okay.
Hard to say. I think this one has more aroma. So far I think the first one is Stone. I think the second one is Homebrew Brewing.
Okay. All right, you ready for number 3?
Yeah.
There you go.
Okay. This one smells different than the second one.
Okay.
But the aroma is more intense than the first one, which is weird because now I'm saying they're all different, which is obviously not the case.
What are you smelling on this one?
The aroma is more, I think it's more like sweet, like sweet pineapple
Okay.
versus more, I think it's less citrusy, more pineapple-y. So this definitely makes me think that 2 and 3 are not the same, but now I'm thrown off with number 1. But this is just aroma, so. Whoa. Maybe my taste buds are getting used to it. But this one seems less bitter.
Less better than the other 2?
Yeah, but that might just because my palate is messed up now. This is hard. I don't think this one's mine.
Okay.
I think that one's Stone. Even though it seems less bitter, the Stone has more bitterness to it. It's supposed to have more bitterness to it, but it didn't taste like mine did. So I think the last one is Stone. I think number 2 is Hopeful Brewing for sure. Number 1. Can I taste number 1 again?
We're gonna let that go this time, but we didn't get to do it.
I'm gonna have to go. Number 1 is also Hopeful Brewing.
Is that your final answer?
Yeah.
Okay, now before you take your blindfold off,
Mm-hmm.
which one did you enjoy the most?
I don't know, man. They're all pretty similar. They're both good. I don't know. Probably mine, I guess. The one I think is HB.
Okay, so you think, what did you say again? You thought number 3 was Stone,
Mm-hmm.
and number 2 and 1 were Hopeful Brewing,
Yeah,
and you enjoyed 1 and 2 better?
I think so.
All right, go ahead and take your blindfold off.
Ugh.
You got them right.
Ooh, we did it.
We did it. We did it.
Well, I feel like it smells like the IPA. It definitely tastes like it.
Well, remember they're all the
It's
IPA.
the one you guys made versus the Stone. Oh, I was thinking the pills. Pills was gonna be in there.
No, it's the Stone versus the Stone clone. Okay, I'll take this from you.
Okay.
Okay. You can take more time than that too. No rush. You want to take the next one here?
Yes, please.
Okay.
Is this one also just as full?
Yes, they're all very full.
I feel like this one smells a little different, hops wise. Definitely tastes a little different with carbonation.
That's all you need? Okay. Okay. All right. Here is numero 3 in your hand there. Very full. Be careful.
Okay, this is difficult. This one feels a little smoother though, like the first one.
So you think that one's similar to number 1 so far?
Yes. Yeah.
Do you want to do any retracing? You want, okay.
I'm
Which
gonna
one?
taste number 2 again.
You want to taste number 2 again? Okay. I'll
I'd
do.
like it to be noted that we did not get to do this.
Retaste?
Yeah, Randy and I did.
That's okay.
Victor did, but we didn't.
I didn't tell you. You didn't ask.
I can tell this one is the odd one out.
Okay, that one's the odd one out. Okay.
I shouldn't
So
say I can tell.
that's-
I should say I can.
you think? Okay. So we'll take a quick look. So Jen thinks that number 1 and number 3 are the same, and number 2 is different. Okay. Now that you have that, which one do you think is the one that we made, and which one do you think? Which one or which ones did Stone make?
I believe we made number 2 and 1 and 3 are Stone.
Okay. And which one do you prefer?
I kind of prefer Stone.
Okay.
A little smoother. But yeah.
Well, I would like to report to you that you are correct. You are accurate. You did an excellent job.
Ooh.
You
Thank you.
are the winner.
Except for not choosing our beer over Stone.
No, that's okay. All right.
I did it.
Of course, we didn't actually have our dog Maggie do a blind taste test. That's ridiculous. However, she is cuter than me, so I'll leave her up on the screen while we wrap up this video. Now, this clone is very similar, but it's not quite spot on because we are mostly able to pick out the differences in the taste test that we just did. They are both delicious beers, but there are a couple of things that could be dialed in to produce a better copycat. Number 1, use the same yeast that Stone does. I assume Stone is using WLP007 English dry ale yeast. Lutra is an exceptional and versatile yeast, but we're trying to make a clone here. Number 2, use Nugget for bittering instead of Magnum and add it earlier in the boil to gain some additional IBU. I adjusted the bittering hop addition to 60 minutes rather than 30 minutes in the recipe linked below. Stone is one of my favorite breweries. Their World Bistro and Gardens in Escondido and at Liberty Station are also some of the best venues to kick back and have a beer with the family. Comment down below if you've been to Stone or if you tried making a Stone Delicious clone before and let me know how it turned out. And stay tuned because we have another great video coming out in a couple of weeks for a beer that I just brewed on Saturday. I'm pretty excited about it, so make sure you subscribe so you don't miss out. Thanks for watching.